Oops, now it's on my face. How do I turn this around here? Yay, okay, sorry guys. I have no idea if it was filming that before. All right. Cool, let's see if it is working over here. I'm just gonna test it. Yay! Let me turn up the sound. Okay. All right, everyone. Sorry for the couple-minute delay there. A little bit of technical difficulties, but we're here now. Super excited to do some yoga with you all this morning. This is my fiance, Sam. I have learned from doing these virtual yoga classes that it's much easier for you all to hear me if I'm speaking to you and having someone else demonstrate than me doing the practice and speaking it at the same time. So I volunteered him. So I'll send him some gratitude for being here. And just a couple of things before we jump in. I just want to give a big shout out to YoColorado and give them a big thank you for sponsoring this yoga class this morning. I was chatting with them. I've been a big friend of the brand for many, many years. They're one of the first brands I ever worked with from Instagram. Really amazing, wonderful humans, and just chatting with them about ways that we could really give back to the community in this time that we're in with everything with COVID and just the state of the world right now. So we're super excited to partner with YoColorado for this yoga class. I'm rocking their hat and their yoga pants. Sam has one of their shirts on. I'm pretty much always wearing something from YoColorado, so I do want to give them a big, big, big shout out and thank you for sponsoring this class so that it can be free for all of us. And they are giving away a 20% off one-time use gift code, which is going to be in the description. It's just Arielle Yoga, all caps. So if you need to stock up on any YoColorado gear or just want to support a really awesome local small business from Colorado, they're just a wonderful organization, and I'm proud to partner with them. And yeah, it's been a great relationship over the last maybe 4 or 5 years. So with that out of the way, I'd love to jump into some yoga. We're just going to do an all levels flow today. I like to kind of offer something for everyone. So if you're new to yoga, I'm going to give you some options, but also if you've been practicing for a while, I'll give you some other ways where you could kind of spice up what we're doing today. So to get started, I'm going to get out of Sam's way, and we'll start in child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide. And then sit your hips back on your heels. And if you go a little bit wider with the knees, like about hips width or mats width distance, it will give you more space in your hips. It's okay if your forehead doesn't touch the ground. If it doesn't, you can stack your palms under your forehead. If it does, just bring the forehead down to the ground and walk your arms all the way forward so that your armpits can get a little stretch, your side body can get a little stretch. And we're just going to take 3 clearing breaths together. So take a big full inhale through your nose, expand your lungs front, back, side to side. And then open mouth, exhale. Good, 2 more times. Big breath in, full expansion, front, back, side to side. And then open mouth, exhale. And then last one, big full breath in. And open mouth, exhale. Good. Close your mouth and just start to breathe in and out through your nose. And you don't have to start with Ujjayi right away, although if that's in your practice, that slight constriction of the back of the throat, you can start to create that little vibration there. But what I really want you to focus on is creating some symmetry to the breath. So I want you to notice how long your inhale is, and notice how long your exhale is. And then see if over the next couple of breaths you can start to bring equanimity to the two. So as you inhale, you stretch out your inhale to the length of 3, 4, maybe 5. And then as you exhale, you keep that same count. So if you inhaled for 5, you exhale for 5, or 4, or 3, whatever you did. And just take a couple of rounds of breath like this to create symmetry. And the reason I start with this equalizing breath is because I acknowledge we're all coming from different things. Some of you may be on the East Coast, you've been up for a few hours. Some of you are here in Colorado, you're just waking up. Whatever it is, it's my hope that creating some equanimity through our breath, we can all find a similar starting place so that we can move on this journey through our yoga practice together. And just take one last round of breath, feeling the sweetness and softness, this ability to slow down first. And in these final moments before we start moving, I invite you to offer yourself permission to be fully present. I know that there's a lot going on in the world at this moment in time. I know that there's probably a lot going on in your personal life in this moment in time. But I invite you to take the next 45 minutes to fill your cup. To set these things aside just for now, and allow yourself to really be filled with inspiration, to be filled with just energy in general, so that when you step off of your mat today and step into whatever else you have planned, you can do so from a really, truly empowered and inspired place, so that you can better serve the people around you, in the communities that you find yourself a part of. So take just one last clearing breath here. Clear the slate. Give yourself permission to be present. Okay. And then as you inhale, come up into a tabletop position, hands and knees. We're going to focus a lot through the midsection of the body today, really working with this quality of empowerment, working with this element of fire, right? Giving you this opportunity to really feel ignited in yourself, in your life, to really light that fire from within. So we'll start with a little cat-cow. As you inhale, open your chest, sitting bones lift, maybe the gaze goes up a bit. And then as you exhale, look in at the navel. Really intentionally try to gaze at your belly button and round your back. And we'll do that a couple more times. As you inhale, the chest lifts, the sitting bone lifts, the belly drops. And as you exhale, really try to actually look in at your belly button. Really see if you can see it. Do that 2 more times. So I'll remind you of this navel-focused awareness throughout the practice. In Sanskrit, it's called Nishtadharana. And it's this navel-focused awareness that helps us to center ourselves in a grounded place. Good. Last one. Good. And then as you inhale one more time, find that cow back, so you're a little sway back a bit, the chest opens. And then as you exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a couple of moments here to pedal your legs and just feel the outer hips, feel the calves, everything of this nature. Find your breath. We'll move a lot with the breath today. The word Vinyasa actually just means to place in a special way. And what I take from that is that we're making each movement with intention. So whether you've done these poses a million times, like if you've done downward facing dog a million times, I want you to imagine as if it's the first time, to weave that intentionality and that sense of purpose and that sense of awareness into every single shape, no matter how familiar or unfamiliar it is to you. So a little variation of this I'd love to get started with. You're gonna just bend your right knee a little bit, and then step your left leg behind and across to the outside of the mat. So right knee bends, left leg steps behind and across. The more you bend your right knee, the easier this is. And then press your left side body out towards the side and kind of up towards the sky. You should feel a stretch from your outer armpit all the way to your outer waist. This is one of my favorite variations of down dog, and I pretty much always do it anytime I start my own personal practice. You can kind of move your body a little bit until you find a sweet spot. Just breathing into the space that you're creating here. Good, and then we'll just switch to the other side. So you'll bend your left knee quite a bit. Step the right leg behind and across, off the mat, onto the wood, so you're really getting some space. And then sass your opposite side body, which now is your right side body, up towards the sky. So you can feel that stretch all along the right side of your body. And breathe into that, right? Breathe into your armpit, breathe into your intercostals, breathe into your side waist, your outer hip. Feel the space that you're creating here. Expanding this vessel so we can bring in more prana. Prana just means this vital life force energy. Like I said today, this practice is going to be about filling your cup, inspiring you, so that when you step off of the mat, you have this sense of personal will, of determination, and of strength, of personal strength. You can come back to center. As you inhale, round your spine like a cat and roll all the way forward to high plank. You might have to adjust your hand and feet distance to find that. Now keep your hands and feet this distance, and as you exhale, curl back to downward facing dog. So don't move your hands and feet. Good. As you inhale, Roll forward, so like cat's back, but starting all the way at your sacrum, which is the lowest part of your back, all the way forward, and the chest opens. Try not to sag your hips at the end. There you go. And then as you exhale, curl back, downward facing dog. So starting to stoke that fire in the center of the body. Good, let's do that 2 more times. As you inhale, round, roll forward, articulating each individual vertebrae up the spine. Chest opens, but the hips don't sag at the end. And then curl back. And then we have one final one here. So as you inhale, round, roll forward, articulating each individual joint of the spine like a cat cresting forward or a rolling wave. Now pause. We're going to pause here for 5 breaths. I imagine you will be shaking. If you're shaking, good, you're doing it right. Press through your hands, try to dome your upper back. So spread the space between your shoulder blades by pushing so much. It's like you're trying to stretch the space between each shoulder blade. Good, last breath. And then from here, you can keep your knees up or you can lower them. You're going to come all the way down into your belly. Good. Bring your hands a little wider than the yoga mat and come onto your fingertips. So you're going to lift the heel of your hand. Your elbows should be stacked right over your wrist. Sam's on a really wide mat because he's a super tall guy, so he might not need to go quite as wide with them. As you inhale, press into your fingertips, chin to chest, and lift all the way up to your max height. And then at the top, lift your chin and gaze up. As you exhale, melt your chest back down. So again, as you inhale, chin to chest, so you're lifting from the mid-upper back region. And then as you exhale, or excuse me, at the top of your inhale, you lift the chin slightly. Good, so I'm just letting Sam catch up with us. And then as you exhale, melt down. All right, last one, inhale, chin to chest. So you're not lifting with the neck. You're gonna lift all the way up at the very top, lift your chin slightly. Now stay here, stay on your fingertips, and roll your right shoulder down towards the mat until you feel a nice little stretch there. Your left shoulder will instinctively roll up a little bit. And then the other side. So drop your left shoulder, roll your right shoulder up. Good, and then come back to center. And lower back down. Bring your hands back by your side ribs, palms down, like you're going to do a push-up. Tuck your toes. Lift your thighs up. And then instead of letting your hips be the last thing, so you're not peeling yourself off the ground, I want you to lift your hips first, and then press all the way up as one firm plank. Wow. Nice, super strong. And then curl back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. As you inhale, lift your right leg high. You can bend your knee and open your hip if you'd like. You get a nice little stretch there. Maybe take some ankle circles, totally optional. And then straighten the leg, square the hip, and as you exhale, draw your knee to your nose, curl forward, create that cat back, and step towards your right thumb. So you're in a nice long lunge. If your foot doesn't go far enough forward, you can pick it up and slide it a little more forward. Lift your back knee up. Now as you inhale, open your chest towards the front. And then as you exhale, bring your forehead to your knee. Keep your knee bent and pull your ribs in. So again, you're creating that cat's back. Good. As you inhale, open your chest towards the front. Keep resisting with the back knee. So keep lifting the back knee up. And then as you exhale, forehead to knee, round in, but try to lift your ribs off of your thigh, but keep your front knee bent. One more time. Inhale. So it's like cat-cow when you're in a lunge. Keep the back knee lifted. And then as you exhale, forehead to knee, curl and pull your ribs up off of your thigh. Good, and then one last time, inhale, come into this lengthened version. Keep your left hand on the ground, and as you inhale, lift your right hand up, come into a nice big twist. Good. You can lean back in the chest and just feel that opening of the space that you're creating here. Good, last breath. And then as you exhale, lower the hand down, step back, downward facing dog right away as you inhale, lift the left leg high. As you exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe those little ankle circles or whatever feels good in your body here. And then straighten the leg, square your hip. And as you exhale, knee to nose, you're coiling in, creating that cat's back, and step forward and through. Good. Come onto your fingertips, keep the back knee lifting. You'll feel a lot of work happening in front of that thigh. As you inhale, open your chest towards the front, keep the back knee lifted, straighten the back leg. And then as you exhale, forehead to knee, round, curl your ribs in, pull your ribs off your thigh. Yes, good. Inhale, lengthen front to back, keep lifting the back knee up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, forehead to knee, ribs pull off of the thigh. Do that 2 more times. So as you inhale, open the chest, resist with the back knee, you're doing so great. And then as you exhale, curl in. Amazing. Inhale, open your chest forward, stay here. Next inhale, keep the right hand down, lift the left arm up, come into your low twist. Keep leaning back, opening the chest here. Just take 3 or 4 big breaths. I'm not super concerned with where your head is turned. It can look up if that's good, if that feels good on your neck. It can look down, whatever feels good to you today. Less important in this moment. Good, lower the hand down, step back. This time step back to high plank, top of a push-up. Good, now you're welcome to just lower all the way down like we did before and do that modified version of Cobra, or you can shift your weight forward, press your heels forward, lower halfway just until your shoulders are slightly above your elbows, and then press up into your upward facing dog, flipping onto the tops of your toes, lifting out of your legs, rolling the shoulders back, opening the chest. Good, from here, as you exhale from the navel, curl back, downward facing dog. Good. Again, that version is optional. You can always do the version we started with. We'll do a couple more of those throughout the practice. As you inhale, lift your right leg high. As you exhale, knee to nose, curl in. We're going to do that 2 more times. As you inhale, reach the leg up and back. And then slow, like you're moving through mud, exhale, knee to nose, curl in. Good. As you inhale, reach the leg up and back. And then again, taking the whole exhale, curl in, knee to nose. Now pause. Look forward between your thumbs and try to step forward towards your right thumb. So a little bit wider, you're a nice long lunge. Good. You might need a little bit of longer stance. Sam needs a tiny bit longer stance here. If your knee is going beyond your ankle, you just want to make sure you get that forward. So back knee is lifted. Good. This time as you inhale right into the twist, open your right hand so you're facing your right thigh. Now this is a little different than something you may have done before. So I'm going to stand and make sure it gets corrected. So as you inhale, you open. And as you exhale, you take this hand and you bear hug your thigh and bring your forehead to your knee. So you're wrapping into yourself. As you inhale, you open the chest. And as you exhale, you wrap that arm around the outside of the thigh like you're hugging your leg. One more time, inhale. Might be a little hard to see with Sam, but hopefully my cues are helping. And then exhale, hug in. Good, as you inhale, open up. And as you exhale, lower the hand to the ground and step back just to down dog for now. Right away, inhale, left leg high. And then as you exhale, slow, like you're moving through mud, knee to nose, curl in. Inhale, reach the leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, curl in. One more time, inhale. Feeling that kind of fake resistance that you're creating. Exhale, curl in. Step forward, high lunge. And again, it's okay if your foot doesn't go all the way there. You can pick it up. And then from here, as you inhale, reach your left hand, yes, up towards the sky. Sometimes I still get confused after all these years. Good, big breath in. And as you exhale, bear hug the thigh. So you're wrapping from the outside, forehead to knee. You can definitely see better now on this side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, wrap in. And then final one, inhale. And exhale. Good, as you inhale, reach the arm up. And as you exhale, lower the hand down. Step back to high plank, top of a push-up. So you have 3 options. Option 1 is go straight back to down dog, skip it. Option 2 is the Cobra variation we started with. Option 3, shift your heels forward, lower halfway, and then inhale, lift up. Lift out of your wrists, and then exhale from the navel. From the navel, curl back to downward facing dog. So I want you to feel that navel kind of like going back in action. Good. As you inhale, lift your heels, look forward, and then take baby steps all the way to the top of your mat. Good. Soften your knees and just allow yourself to fold over your thighs for a second. So I'm pairing, if any of you guys are yoga teachers, I'm pairing a lot of forward bending and I'm pairing a lot of like rounding of the spine intentionally to create a soothing action on the nervous system so we can really ground and center the nervous system. And then I'm partnering it with this element of fire and this work at the navel so that we can have this sense of empowerment, but from a really grounded and centered place, instead of just empowering the frenzy or empowering the chaos, that we can really empower ourselves from a grounded space. So if any of you are yoga teachers or you have some deepened studies in yoga, that's just a little background to what I'm doing with my sequencing today. As you inhale, slide your hands up your shins, open your chest, shoulders back. And then as you exhale, soften and fold. We'll do that just 2 more times. As you inhale, slide your hands up your shins, shoulders back. And as you exhale, soften and fold. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up overhead. It's likely that will lose Sam's head because he's so tall. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Good. With your eyes closed, just pause for a second. Feel your feet on the earth. Lift and spread your toes. Good, and then lower that back down, keeping them as spread as possible. Lean your weight forward a little bit, so you're moving into the balls of your feet. And then lean your weight back into your heels. Again, your eyes are closed for this if that's comfortable for you. And come back to center. Lean your weight over to the right. And then a little over to the left. And find the balance or the center point between those two. So you're finding this center point between front to back to front. You're standing firmly and balanced on both of your feet. I want you to press into your feet so you can get a little bit taller, right? So you're pressing down, you're rooting down to lengthen up. Good. From this space, press into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Surya Namaskar A. As you exhale, soften your knees and fold forward. Try to keep a long spine, so try not to round your way down. Soften your knees as much as you need to. As you inhale, half lift, slide your hands up your shins. And as you exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank, which is top of a push-up. Take a big breath in. Any option that I gave you before, I'm going to cue the full variation. Press your heels forward, lower just halfway. Good. Press into your hands, untuck the toes, lift up, upward facing dog, shoulders will open, yes. And then exhale, curl back from the navel. So really feel your navel pulling you back in space as you come back into downward facing dog. Just 2 breaths here. Now, I know that we set an even and smooth breath at the beginning of practice, but I want you to notice if you still have that. And if not, I want you to work towards that even as we move in today's practice, right? So we're trying to maintain that smooth and even breath throughout the whole practice. That's actually more important to me than what any of your shapes look like, is what your breath is like today. As you inhale, lift your heels, look forward, and then as you exhale, you can jump forward, you can step forward, whatever feels resonant to you. Some of you might float forward. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, hands draw down to the heart. 2 more times. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, lengthen and fold forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Nice form. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high plank, top of a push-up. Pause for 1 inhale. And then as you exhale, heels press forward so your shoulders are moving beyond your wrists, lower halfway, which is not as far as you think. Press into your hand, untuck your toes, lift up, upward facing dog, shoulders will open, and then exhale from the navel, pull yourself back from the belly button, all the way back into your down dog. Take 2 breaths here to reset your breath. Notice, is it faster now? Is your inhale longer than your exhale, or vice versa? And if you're noticing these things, it's not a place to reprimand yourself that you're doing anything wrong. It's just, I want you to be aware and start to move towards equanimity. The most powerful way we affect our nervous system is through our breath. And this is not just yogic philosophy, this is confirmed by modern science. So when we can really learn to partner and connect with our breath in an empowering way, it can support us in way larger of a way than just feeding ourselves with oxygen and allowing us to, continue our day-to-day activities. As you inhale, lift your heels, look forward. As you exhale, hop, step, float, handstand, whatever it is for you. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach your hands all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands to your heart. Last round, big inhale, press down through your feet to lift up through your hands, get taller. Exhale, lengthen as you fold forward. Keep that spine long, chin in a little bit too, so the back of the neck stays long. Good, as you inhale, half lift. And as you exhale, high plank. Any variation that we've done before, so you can do the modified variation, or heels press forward, lower halfway. Inhale, lift out of your wrists, so you're not collapsing, chest opens. And then exhale from the navel, the most important part, curling back. Good, 2 breaths, reset your breath, recenter yourself here. Okay. So as you inhale, lift your right leg high, but this time keep your hips square, so you're not opening the hip. And then as you exhale, bring your right knee to your left elbow, come across the body, maybe above the elbow if you can. As you inhale, reach the leg up and back. As you exhale, same thing. Right knee, left elbow, maybe left tricep, maybe a little higher. Inhale, reach the leg up and back. And then last time, right knee, left elbow or tricep. Good. Inhale, reach the leg up and back. And then as you exhale, step forward towards your right thumb. As you inhale, you're going to come into a high lunge this time. We haven't been here yet. So you're going to press into your feet, squeeze your right hip back, left hip forward, and reach your hands up towards the sky. So try pressing your back heel forward until it's over your toes. Yep, keep pressing that heel forward even more. Sam, press, 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 press. It gets harder. We're not here for long, right? We've already had almost 30 minutes of practice so far, so we're going to start to wind down with just a little more strength. Reach up through the hands, palms turn in. Wrap your armpits in towards your face. Good. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to open your arms wide and face the right. So you're going to turn towards the right and just open your arms wide, palms facing the same direction as your front knee. Good. As you inhale, come up through center. Sweep your hands up towards the sky. Facing the front. As you exhale, twist open. Good. One more time. Inhale, sweep your hands up through center. And then as you exhale, twist open. I know your front leg is burning. Don't give up now. You've got this. From here, left hand goes up, right hand goes to the back leg, coming into exalted warrior. Keep reaching up, create as much space as possible through this left side body, so that when we come into our twist, we're not compressed. We're coming from an expanded space. Last pose on this side, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. You can bring your palms together. If your wrists bother you, you can make the bottom hand into a fist. And then I want you to press your left elbow down and lift your side body off of your thigh. So press the elbow down to lift up. See if you can turn a little bit more. Keep turning your chest towards the right. Last breath. If any of you want to open your arms into wings or take a bind, fall over. Good. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down to the mat. Step back, right into down dog. So we'll get your connecting vinyasa here in a moment. As you inhale, left leg high. As you exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, reach the leg up. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. One more time. Inhale, reach the leg up. Exhale, bring it across, maybe a little higher. Really nice. Inhale, reach the leg up. And then just step forward into your lunge today. And again, if you don't quite get a long enough stance right away, adjust. Draw your left hip back and your right hip forward so your inner thighs turn on, and then reach your hands up. Good. Reach up through your fingers, hands spin in, armpits spin in. Good. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist to the left. So you're going to open your arms wide, palms face the direction you're looking. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist open. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Good. Pause for a breath. And then exalted warrior. So right hand goes up, left hand can go to the sacrum or to the back leg. And again, you're creating space here so that when you twist, you're not compressing. I want you to twist from a really expanded place. Stay with your breath. Keep bending your front knee. I know you want to come out of it. Remember, you are stronger than you think you are. Be in your strength here. Don't give up on yourself. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee. You can bring the palms together. Again, if your wrists bother you, you can make the bottom hand into a fist. Otherwise, I want you to really drive down with your right elbow to lift your torso off of your thigh so that you can rotate more deeply. You have your last breath or two here, so whatever variation you're working with, go there. Let that leg shake. Let that fire start to burn within you. Good. Lower your hands to the ground. Step back. If you'd like a connecting vinyasa, you can take one. That would be your chaturanga up dog. You can just go straight back to downward facing dog, whatever will serve you best. And once you make your way back to downward facing dog, please take 3 big breaths. If you need to drop to your knees to take these breaths, drop to your knees, whatever you need to do. But I just want you to notice your breath. See if you can bring it back to that sense of equanimity. Allowing yourself to find that space of centeredness. Last breath. Good. As you inhale, come forward to high plank, top of a push-up. And as you exhale, slowly lower all the way down. All right, I'm going to have you keep your hands in this traditional cobra position, so make sure your wrists are right under your elbows. And we're going to do just a little bit of spinal strengthening. I feel like in the world that we're a part of, we really need to step into the world with strong spines, strong backbones. And I would like to offer that symbolically in this practice. So as you inhale, you can lightly use your hands, come up into your cobra. So your head lifts. If you are a dude, you may have to adjust yourself. It's okay. Especially for the belly down back hands. Okay, so lift your chest. Both legs on the ground for now. And then as you inhale, I want you to lift just your right leg up off the ground. Just keep it straight, please. As you exhale, bend the knee. Breath is important. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest higher. As you exhale, bend the knee, try not to collapse. As you inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest higher. Stay lifted, exhale, bend the knee. Last one. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest. And then slowly lower all the way down. Turn your head to one side. Just about 2 breaths to pause, so not too long. Okay. And then we'll do the other side. So inhale, lift your head and chest. You can have light pressure in your hands. Just don't be like pressing through your hands. Just light. Maybe you hover them if you really want to take this up a notch, right? Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest. Stay lifted, exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift your chest. Stay lifted, exhale, bend the knee. I know this is strong, you've got this. One more time, inhale, straighten, lift, lift, lift. Lower all the way down, turn your head to one side. Just about 2 breaths to rest. We just have one more where we'll do both legs together. Right, and I talked earlier about working from the navel center, working from the core, but if we're really being wholesome and we're really being holistic about our approach at working from this center, it's not just the front. We're also going to work on creating support and stability from this back area as well. And just on a practical note, if you tend to suffer from back pain, you're someone who works sitting a lot or things of that nature, I've worked with a lot of clients with back pain, and this, by far, and some side body opening, shoulder release stuff, is the most transformative for the most common versions of back pain. It's not going to say it's going to cure all back pain, but I've had tons of clients who've had amazing transformations. So on a practical note, this is really, really, really helpful exercise if you are someone who does a lot of sitting. All right, last round. Inhale, lift everything up. Head, chest, both legs. Cover your hands for this one, just for fun. Exhale, bend your knees. Inhale, straighten your legs, lift your chest. Stay lifted. Exhale, bend your knees. You've got this. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift your chest. One more time. Exhale, bend the knees. Stay lifted. The breath is important. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift your chest. Now stay here for 3 breaths. You've got this. You are stronger than you think you are. Keep breathing. If you hold your breath, 3 breaths will take forever. Last 2. And then lower all the way down. Nice. And just breathe. Allow yourself to settle. Feel the work. If you don't normally work on this area, there might be some interesting sensations. Doesn't mean they're bad sensations. Okay. Press back into a child's pose. Should feel really nice. Doesn't that feel great, Sam? Such a nice release after that. Breathe into that. And just to really just support this nourishing feeling in this moment, to allow you to continue to feel very supported. Walk your hands over to one side and just breathe into the side body. Although it's not the intention of today's practice, I already kind of looped you guys into what I was hoping to create through my sequencing today. This type of poses where you're really getting into the side body and the armpit, combined with that back exercise we did, is one of the best combinations for helping mitigating most forms of back pain that I've worked with, most of the common forms. So if that's you, just know you have some tools in your tool belt now. And if it's not you, know it's a great way to prevent that from ever being you, which is really nice. And walk your hands over to the other side. Keep your hips really heavy on your heels. Those are your hips or your anchor. And I just invite you to come back to your breath here. And the breath, as I can remind you, is the fastest way to the nervous system. What the ancient yogis noticed before we had science to support this was that when we had different experiences of emotions, you know, whether that was anger or sadness or fear or whatever it was, our breath reacted in a certain way. And when we were calm and centered, our breath also was a certain way. And so they decided to see if they could reverse engineer that. And we now have so much scientific evidence to support that when we slow and smooth our breath, we actually ground and calm our nervous system. Come back to center. And just take 2 or 3 breaths there to find that centeredness, to find that sense of grounding. Good. And we'll have you come back into your down dog as a transition. And we'll move into pigeon pose. Now, if you have knee pain, I'm going to invite you to just flip over onto your back and do a figure 4 stretch. You'll get all of the same benefits. Otherwise, from down dog, you'll lift your right leg high. Bring your right knee to your right wrist. And then you'll lower yourself down a bit. So a couple things before you settle in. I'm just going to kind of talk it through on Sam. A lot of times I see people trying so hard to get their shin parallel. I do not care at all if your shin is parallel. Sam, get your shin parallel for a second and show them what happens. When he gets his shin parallel, do you see how his hips turn towards the camera? Which means his hips are no longer facing the mat, which means that he's cranking on his SI joint in the back of his body. So instead, he brings his foot closer to his hips. He drops his left hip and pulls his right hip back in space, so both hip bones face forward, and then he can walk himself down, and his elbows would land on the inside of his front knee instead of on the outside of the front knee. So if you've been, trying to get your shin parallel, you can let go of that. It's not going to serve the long-term health of your low back and your pelvis. Instead, you're just really working to get a little stretch in that outer hip. Breathe into wherever you feel sensation. P.S. It's okay if you can't get your elbows on the ground just yet. There is an acupressure point in between your eyebrows that helps to stimulate parasympathetic nervous system. In fact, most of the time when I go to acupuncture, she puts one there. It just kind of helps turn the nervous system down. So if you have the ability to put a little pressure there by putting your forehead on your stacked palms or your stacked fists or a block or whatever you might use, this can just really help start to ground the nervous system down. Take 5 full breaths. You can press up. We're going to go to the other side. If you're on your back doing figure 4, just simply switch. Everyone else, do what you need to kind of release that. So sometimes I'll shake the hip out, do a couple hip circles, and I'll just invite you to do that on your own time, and we'll come to the other side. And as you're coming into the other side, just that reminder that it's not about getting your shin parallel. It is about getting your hips to face the ground. It's really about getting on the very top of your back thigh instead of on the inner thigh. And that might mean you take the front knee a little wider than normal. It might mean your front foot is a little closer to your hips than you're used to. And again, that invitation, if it's possible, if it's not, don't worry. It's all good. But if it is possible to create a little pressure on that space between the eyebrows, whether that's by stacking the palms or the fists or putting a block there, take those 5 breaths, take them slow and smooth. Imagine that each one was a gift that you were giving yourself. Allow there to be a sense of sweetness, of self-compassion. An analogy I'm sure I've shared in most of the classes I've taught virtually through this whole COVID thing. One of my teachers man, I wish I could remember where it came along the way. But anyway, she was sharing that, you know, we've all heard this analogy, you can't pour from an empty cup. And we think of, like, you know, when we're even if we're a more full cup, in order to pour from a cup, we have to pour ourselves out in different directions. We have to lean to one side, lean to the other. Now, imagine instead that your cup stayed steady, and it was just so full that it was overflowing. So it didn't have to tip out in one direction or the other, but it was so full that it was overflowing. What if we could get to a place where we could give from the overflow? And to me, it's one of the reasons why it's so important to take this time for ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to not only fill our cups to the top, but to fill it so much that it overflows out into the world around us, into our communities, into our relationships, into the work that we do. Last breath. Okay. You can release this pose in whatever way feels good to you. And we'll all meet on our back, but if you need a moment to release your hip or anything like that, please do so. Again, take this time to nourish yourself, to fill your cup in whatever way feels resonant. And when we meet on our back, I just want you to hug your knees into your chest and rock side to side. As if you're drawing yourself into a sweet embrace. Keep the right knee in, extend the left knee, or left leg long, And then take the right knee into the left hand, and on an exhale, draw the knee across the body, reach out through the right hand, open across the chest. Please take 3 big breaths. I want to do my best to respect the time that we set for today's practice. Teaching 45 minutes is challenging for me, but if you need to linger another moment or two longer, you can please take care of yourself, nourish yourself. Otherwise, we're just going to slowly come to the other side. So you'll come back to center and hug both knees in. And then you'll just switch legs, right leg forward, left knee draws in. And on your exhale, you'll use the right hand to draw the left knee all the way across to open the chest. And just take those 3 sweet, nourishing breaths. And again, if you're at home, you have this invitation to linger here longer. Please take care of yourself. But to stay with time, we'll come back to center. Hug your knees in one last time. Extend your feet to the corners of your mat. And take your arms a little wider than your mat. Press into your outer arms and see if you can nestle your shoulder blades underneath you a little bit so there's some buoyancy in the chest. There's this ability to be lighthearted. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Do that one more time, and as you inhale, allow yourself to draw in any last bit of inspiration, empowerment, motivation. As you exhale, just allow yourself to sink and settle and feel grounded. Feel supported and at ease. Imagine yourself in this moment like a paperweight sinking through the ocean towards the ocean floor. Feel this sense of settledness. See if you can actually give yourself permission to be supported in this moment. It can be hard when our nervous system is in such an agitated state as it may be right now. I don't want to project onto you, but as it may be. So see if you can just continue to offer yourself grace with every exhale. And perhaps you might even allow yourself to feel that the earth beneath you is pushing up. It's actually rising up for thousands of miles just to hold you in this moment, to support you in your own personal journey. And perhaps an acknowledgement of that support beneath you could let your body drop or sink just the littlest bit more. And the last piece of guidance for Shavasana, and I will take us out of Shavasana, so trust that I will be there to support you, but in your last process of dropping, I invite you to count the next 10 exhales back from 10 all the way down to 0. Each time you count down, each time you exhale, you count down a number and feel yourself settle more and more. So as you count down to 8 and then 7, feel your body drop, feel your breath become more effortless. Feel all of your doing undo itself. And whenever it is that you reach 0, allow yourself to be fully and completely supported by the earth beneath you. Without moving yourself just yet, allow your awareness to come to the surface. Perhaps feeling this vitality and vibrancy you created through practice pulsing through you. Feel it vibrating through each and every one of your cells. Feel your skin almost tingling with this sense of vitality. Allow yourself to feel so full in this moment that it truly feels like the only option to go out into the world and to allow this feeling to overflow. That will mean something different for everyone watching. But whatever it means for you, allow it to inspire you to bravely take inspired action in your life, to trust that you are supported. Eventually, a spontaneous full inhale will just arise almost out of nowhere. It just bubbles up. It's a big full inhale that draws into the body almost as if the body is a vacuum sucking the air in. And then as you exhale, you allow it to go and you make whatever movements feel right to you. Some of you will want a big stretch. Some of you will just want to curl into a ball. Eventually, you'll roll over to your right hand side, just allowing your heart to settle into the heart cavity. Slowly press up on your own time. You'll come to sit. I'm going to seal this together. Take a big inhale. Keep your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. Take what you've experienced and learned today on your mat and share it with the world. Thank you for being here. Thank yourself for carving out this time. From my heart to yours. Namaste. I just want to say a big thank you. I saw how many of you were on live today, and it brings my heart so much joy, and I know that there are many of you who will catch this later as a replay. This video will live on my page indefinitely, so if you enjoyed the practice and you want to do it again, it will be here for you. If there's anyone who you think would benefit from it, feel free to share. And I'd also just love to know, if you guys enjoyed the practice, what you liked, shoot it down in the comments below so that I can continue to create and share things that really support you all and your journey. And yeah, the final thing again is just a big shout out and thank you to Sam, because one, he's not a morning person, but two, just thank him for being here so that I can really share my voice with you. And a huge thank you to YoColorado for supporting this yoga class. Like I said, I've been a big fan of them for a really long time. They're an amazing local Colorado company. Whether you live in Colorado or not, they make really cool gear. This one just says Yo, but even if you've never been to Colorado, it's an awesome place, and I think that especially now more than ever, it's a great time to really support small local businesses, whether that's YoColorado or businesses near you. So thank you so much again all for being here, and I hope that we can do another live class together again in the future. So I'll talk to you soon, and I think that's it.